Welcome to Bookkeeping Concepts Made Simple, in which I take individual bookkeeping concepts and explain them in the belief that understanding is a faster path towards competence than memorization. Today I want to talk about why we keep books. That's kind of important too. And then we'll talk about 3 reports and 5 questions. So why do we bother to keep books? It's a royal pain. It consumes a lot of time. Things got to be reconciled. We're going back and forth. Sometimes the people you're working for don't care. Why do we keep books at all? Well, there are the obvious reasons that we have to pay taxes and that our bankers want to see them. But beyond that, why do we keep books? Luca Pacioli, in his book, which was the foundation of double entry bookkeeping, lists as one of the reasons. He said, without good books, merchants could hardly conduct business, for their minds would always be troubled and they would have no rest. So what exactly is it that people want to know from their books? Well, I list 5 questions that books answer. And beyond these 5 questions, there's a whole lot more that we'll talk. But these 5 fundamental questions, everybody wants these answers from their books. And the first one is, am I making money? Am I selling things for more than they cost me? That's the first and most fundamental question that any business has to know. Am I making money? And you may be surprised or you may not, but the vast majority of businesses don't know the answer to that question, small businesses. The second question is, what do I own? What is owed to me by people? What assets do I own? What equipment, trucks, inventory? What rights to collect money? In other words, accounts receivable. But what do I own? Not about what do I own, or kind of what do I own, or what do I remember that I own? What do I own? Third question, what do I owe? And who do I owe it to? So what do I owe to my suppliers? What do I owe to the IRS for payroll liabilities? What do I owe to my credit card companies? What do I owe? If you're trying to keep track of all of that in your head, like I got this much in the bank and I got this much coming and I about owe that much, but oh, I forgot. Your minds are troubled and you can hardly conduct business, right? So am I making money? What do I own? What do I owe? And then the fourth one is what's left over for me? That's equity. If I sold all my assets and paid all my debts, what would be left over for me? And the 5th question is, where did my cash go? So am I making money? What do I own? What do I owe? What's left over for me? And where did my cash go? Those are the 5 fundamental questions that Luca Pacioli and his peers sought to answer when they created double entry bookkeeping. Books need to be able to answer those 5 questions accurately. Books provide the answers to those 5 questions through 3 reports. There's a profit and loss statement, or a P&L, or an income statement. They all mean the same thing, that compares income to expense to answer the question, am I making money? Did I make money? Then the second report is the balance sheet. The balance sheet has a lot of uses, but essentially is a list of the things you own, your assets, the things you owe to outsiders, which are your liabilities, and when you subtract liabilities from assets, the result is equity. So the balance sheet answers the next 3 questions. What do I own? What do I owe? And what's left over for me? And then the third standard financial statement, one that very few people use and maybe even very few people have ever heard of, is the statement of cash flows. And it tells you between 2 dates precisely where your cash went. One of the difficulties of being in business is that it's very simple to make a lot of money, to make a profit, but not have any cash. And the statement of cash flows is an instrument that it tells you exactly why that is so. So we're in business. We need books to answer the questions so that we can conduct business, we can meet our obligations, and understand where we stand. The reports that provide that information to us are the profit and loss, the balance sheet, and the statement of cash flows. I will have individual videos on each of the financial reports as we go forward to dig into them a little bit about how they're created and what they can tell you. Really smart people have created ways to use that information to make decisions about the future, to determine the health of a company. These are things that banks do in the back room, and myriad more. The entire stock market, the entire financial world is built on those financial statements and the ways people use them to make better decisions and more money. As we go forward, we'll look at how people use those financial statements to make better decisions and more money. If you like these videos, click subscribe, and I'll be adding videos frequently over the next 3 months. And if you're impatient and want to get ahead a little bit, check out my book, The Profit Problem. They say I make money, so why don't I have any? It talks about how to use bookkeeping information and financial reports to make better decisions and more money.